hundreds of millions of dollars in crypto have gone missing in what might be the biggest crypto theft ever. And the exchange world is changing as Robinhood seeks to take from the very rich Coinbase and give back to all of us by eliminating trading fees. And we're pleased to welcome Brian Kean from ICOrating.com to the show to discuss the ICO marketplace. We're freshly back from Davos, Switzerland, and ready to deliver you the very best in badness. It's episode number 79 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
This is fiat currency! Ah! I just wanted to let you know I listened to the little blurbs at the end of your show after the disclaimer, and they're hilarious! I'm crypto furious! Ah!
Yes, indeed. And we're back from Switzerland. And man, there was a lot of snow there, Travis. That was redonkulous.
I have never seen more snow than that. It was so much snow. It was 5.7 feet of snow. And then you know how when wind blows and you have these big, huge drifts. I mean, there was drifts. In some cases, it looked like there was like two cars sitting on top of each other. There was so much snow on top of certain cars. It was just unbelievable amount of snow. Never seen it.
It was something. And finally the sun came out and, it started melting and everything turned to slush. Anyway, we had a great time.
And then that froze and then it made a sheet of ice.
Yeah.
It was great. We actually we had to put things over our shoes, like some snowshoes things, so that we did not bust our bottoms.
Yeah, we didn't take a spill, though. Neither one of us did.
Neither one of us fell down. That was good.
Congratulations to us for not breaking our bottoms. It's the Bad Crypto Podcast, and we Google things in the crypto space so you don't have to. Over 2.5 million downloads, heard in over 190 countries, and we're glad you're here. Please make sure you're following, subscribing, and sharifying and telling others about all the chewy bad crypto goodness. And we got a ton of content that we recorded in Davos, didn't we, Travis?
We did. We recorded things. I mean, all I remember was sitting in the end of a hall, talking to lots of people. It was like our own little prison. I was like, "Is this my sanitarium? Is it? Where's the padded walls?" Because I'm just at the end of a small. But it was actually the quietest place that we could find. So you notice on some of the audio from some of these, they're maybe a little bit louder than others because we were in different places moving around, but the vast majority of them took place in a small hallway with great audio. So it may not have been the most glamorous location in Davos, but it was ours.
Well, it's going to be cool because there's going to be content released over the next couple of weeks from some of the people that we had the opportunity to sit down with. And our feature segment today is going to be the interview we had with Brian Kean of ICOrating.com. That's a swell piece, don't you think?
Well, it is. They create these weekly ICO rating reports where they talk about companies that are raising money right now, ones that are in action, ones that are coming up, all kinds of different stuff. And that stuff is free. So if you go to ICOrating.com and subscribe to it, it doesn't cost you anything. And you basically get a bunch of great information and talking about the state of ICOs. And so I find the reports extremely valuable.
Here's what we don't know. We don't know the state of the Zilla app yet. Apparently, Apple has not yet approved this application from our show sponsor. And I know that they're getting frustrated, wondering what the deal is, because this is the marketplace app that you guys have been waiting to see where you can browse different ICOs and vote for the ones you like. And we're glad that they're a show sponsor, but we'd be really happy if Apple would finally release the app into the App Store. Anyway, you guys can go check out what it's going to look like when you do get to see it on their official website at zla.io/bad.
Bad crypto voicemail. You have one new message.
Hey, this is John Fever from Texas. Stay bad, guys.
Oh, hello. I was just calling into your radio show to find out what the hell you did to my grandson. He's flown over the cuckoo's nest. All day long he keeps talking about magical internet money. what a bunch of bullpucky. Yeah, the other day he was telling me that Disney, Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse put some dragons on the interweb, and he bought a bunch of them. They're gonna be worth millions someday, he says. Oh, God, he's living in a fantasy world. Oh, and then you go and you make it worse. You give him 2 million bad coins. Oh, how nice of you. Oh, except they're completely worthless. He can't buy a thing with them. He can't even buy a dragon. Ouch. Ha. Well, he's gone crazy. He's gone off the deep end. He keeps saying he's going to the moon. Oh, well, I hope you're happy with yourselves. I hope you're happy, Mr. Joel Comm and Mr. Travis Wright. You're wrong. Yeah, well, okay, my grandson's crazy. All right, well, stay bad, I suppose.
We sure do appreciate when people call in, either to make comments or to ask questions or just to be plain old silly. If you don't know the phone number for the Bad Crypto Hotline, it is 708-885-9030. And you could also reach us via the contact form on our website at badcryptopodcast.com. You'll see the link for contact form, and that's how you contact us for all variety of reasons to reach out to us, which could include comments, questions, feedback. It could also include that you want to share a news story with us, or that you're interested in having us come speak at one of your events or do a live Bad Crypto show. By the way, Travis, wasn't that great fun? That little piece we did at Davos, the Bad Crypto Live.
Yeah, that was great. I hope everyone enjoyed it. We did some really cool stuff there, getting on stage, talking live in front of the large audience there. And then also, I believe the last episode that we just released was our longest episode ever, with all those different interviews. And so I know that was that last episode that we had. There was 10, 11 different quick interviews that we had with different folks. And so that was kind of a frenetic pace, maybe a little challenge to listen to all those various different ones. But as you can see, there's a lot of people that are doing really cool stuff within the crypto space. It seemed that in Davos that crypto and blockchain, that was one of the biggest topics that was going around the whole area there. There's a lot of luminaries and a lot of leaders throughout the world in Davos that week talking about these different things, and blockchain seemed to be a really, really big point to them. So I think the space is gaining legitimacy, you guys.
No doubt about it. Mike O'Brien writes us via the contact form. He says, Joel and Travis, love the show. I remember my first crypto purchase like I remember my first kiss. I was scared, sweaty, and afterward told everyone I knew. When did you guys fake a yawn and make your move on the market? Thanks. Stay bad, muchachos. Travis, do you remember your first crypto purchase?
First crypto purchase. Well, I mean, everybody knows the story of my 55 Bitcoin that I lost, but I didn't purchase those. My first crypto purchase, I believe, would have been in 2014 on Coinbase. That was the first time that I'd ever purchased any, and I got 10 of them. And over time, I ended up selling all of them because just my agency at that time, they kind of had a little ebb and flow. And, when you're working with clients, sometimes you have lots of clients. Sometimes you lose a client, or you lose a couple clients, you get some new clients. And so I was in a lull. And so I sold some Bitcoin. But I think the scariest moment was whenever you actually have your Bitcoin and then you send it over to an exchange, right? Mm-hmm. When you're actually making your first transaction. Because I remember the crypto purchase wasn't hard, because I just basically, typed in my bank account and I'm going to make a buy, and then boom, I made a buy. But the challenging one is whenever you're like, okay, I'm going to send it over to Bittrex for the first time. Okay, so I have my code. Is this my code? This address? Is that right? I don't know if that's right. I'm double checking it. I'm looking at it again. Is that right? Going back and forth. I hope this is right. And then you send it and you clinch every little, you're like, oh my God, is it going to go? It's a big pucker. It's the crypto pucker.
Everybody do the crypto pucker.
It's the crypto pucker. I hope I don't lose this, sucker. Yeah, that's for sure. And
I do remember that as well. Mine was Coinbase, and it was in the spring of 2017, because Coinbase is the low-hanging fruit and, to get in, and that might be changing soon for people. In fact, you notice we don't talk a lot about Coinbase anymore because, and even though they have a sign-up where you can get $10 in free Bitcoin. We don't really talk about that much anymore because I think we're all a little soured on, what they did with the Bitcoin Cash debacle.
Be cash. Get it right.
Be cash. And I also remember that first transfer, and I sent a little bit to test it, made sure it worked, and then I sent the remaining amount. And every time I've used a new exchange or deal with a new coin, I usually do that same thing. And this learning curve of understanding the basics of an exchange and then getting into a little deeper with, the exchanges that go a little deeper, Bittrex, Poloniex, and so forth, and then digging in to figure out Ether Delta. I feel pretty pro now. I've never lost anything in a transaction. Everything I've sent through has ended up where it's supposed to be. I've been very methodical and thinking through, double checking all my addresses. And so far, so good.
Yeah, me too. I have never lost anything in this crypto space. I'm so blessed to have had flawless, trading and flawless. I like my crypto kitties. I never lost any of those.
It's never gotten hosed.
IOTA, I never had any problems with that shitty wallet. I've never had any problems losing Bitcoins. So,
never been hacked.
I've never been hacked. I would say, I'm relatively unscathed in the whole crypto space here so far. So I feel pretty blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Yeah, opposite world.
Hey, I want to say this real quick. A great job on the questions and comments this particular episode. I want to give a big shout out to Granny. Granny actually emailed us that MP3 by itself. That way the quality was much higher. So if you call in to our Google Voice number at 708-885-9030, you can call in and leave a voicemail, and that's recorded. But Granny actually sent us an MP3 to badcryptopodcast@gmail.com. So if you do have some skills and you're hilarious, try to keep it no longer than 30 seconds to a minute. And that one was a little bit longer, but it was funny, so we kind of let it roll. But if you want to send us over just an MP3 file of your own little creation, the quality would be much better doing it that way. But, again, feel free to call us either way. It's all good. We'd love to hear from you guys because you guys are the baddest.
Well, Mr. Travis Wright, you may or may not have had some bad days in the crypto space, but I guarantee you none of them have been as bad as what we've got here in the news. And they're actually, there's two thefts that have taken place recently in the crypto space. And in increasing value, we'll save the bigger one here for a moment. But the first one is the story from the BBC that hackers stole $400,000 of Stellar Lumens from Black Wallet. It's a web-based wallet application that stores lumens. They stole 669,920 lumens from accounts.
Yeah, so that's quite a bit. On one it says $400,000 US, and then it says, because that's how many lumens they stole was at 669,000. That's a lot of lumens, and 400,000 total dollars today. Who knows how much that will be in the future? That is actually Stellar Lumens was the very first crypto that we gave a feature on back in our early days on the show. I believe it was badco.in/010. That was the 10th episode that we had. And we chatted with Jed McCaleb on the show, and they gave us a couple 100,000 lumens to give away, which was really awesome. Big fan of lumens. I think that I guess whenever we feature them on the show, they were worth about a penny and a half, and now they're worth a little over 50 cents per, close to 60 cents maybe now. Pretty crazy to see how that one has grown. If you were holding your lumens over there in the Black Wallet, that is a bummer.
Yeah, I don't know how, they track down theft. I mean, they can see very clearly, according to the story, that they move the money to Bittrex, but, in all odds, they're going to then convert it or sell it or whatever. And, the thing about blockchain is it does leave a paper trail, so to speak, right? Because every transaction, you can see what happens to it. But man, it's got to be hard to track stuff like this and get money back. But it gets worse. It gets worse, Travis. One of Japan's largest digital exchanges, it's Coincheck, had a theft of the cryptocurrency NEM. The symbol is XEM, but it's known as NEM, N-E-M. And over $534 million
million. Wow.
were stolen. And this is saying that this is the largest theft ever around digital currency. That more than Mt. Gox, because Mt. Gox had 400 million stolen when they fell apart in 2014.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that CoinCheck had mentioned is that those assets were kept in a hot wallet, which is part of the exchange that is connected to the internet. Now, that contrasts from the cold wallet where your funds are stored securely offline. So they had those funds connected to the internet. And, we've said time and time again, you guys, make sure to, when you can, either have it in a wallet, preferably one that is an offline wallet, and even preferably the best case scenario is a paper wallet where you just have the codes written on sheets of paper. And can be a scary space. I know John McAfee talked about, he has a great YouTube video where he was talking about mobile phones are the worst place to keep your crypto because, with the back holes that are in, with the back doors that are built into Android and iOS, that allows the governments to go in and do what they need to do. That, WikiLeaks talked about it. And, there's going to come a day where if you're leaving your crypto on your mobile phones, there'll become a big swoop and some hacker will come in and snag a bunch of your funds. Now, this is leaving your money on an exchange. This exchange got hacked. You lost all your money if you're keeping it on an exchange. So do your best to keep your stuff off of those exchanges. Keep it on your own private devices where you hold the private keys. And really, that's what a wallet is. Your wallet is more of a keychain of your private keys than it is an actual wallet. So it's a keychain for all your private keys for your different tokens. And if you can keep those in cold storage offline, that will be a better place for you. So you do not get sad like those folks over there got sad.
We are not financial advisors, but we are get your crypto off the exchanges and put them somewhere secure advisors.
That's true. We are that.
You can't lose. And speaking of exchanges, our last story here, you may have heard a little bit of talk about something called Robinhood on the forums. There's been a lot of talk about it in the Bad Crypto Mastermind, which if you're not a part of, why not? badco.in/mastermind is how you join the conversation there. And this is an app. And Robinhood apparently has been a stock trading app, and they're adding cryptocurrency to the app for zero fee commissions. This could, really make a huge difference for those of us that are sick of Coinbase's huge transaction fees.
Not to be confused with the other exchange that is called Robinhood, Cobinhood. This is Robinhood, like the old hymn, Robin Hood and the Merry Men. Actually, Robinhood.com. They raised $176 million from traditional investors. I don't believe they actually did an ICO or they have their own token, but very cool to see, transaction fees becoming zero, where Coinbase is like 1.5% to 4% fees. Robinhood is saying, nope, we're going to eliminate a lot of those fees. So how do they make money? What's their deal?
I'm not actually sure how they're going to do that, but they're supposed to open it up pretty soon to trading. And the coins include Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bcash, Litecoin, Ripple, Ethereum Classic, Zcash, Monero, Dash, Stellar, Quantum, Bitcoin Gold, Omisigo, Neo, Lisk, and Dogecoin. No exchange is complete without Dogecoin, which means, of course, that Coinbase is incomplete. But you mentioned Robinhood. Robinhood sent a cease and desist letter to Robinhood. So I don't know if they're ceasing or desisting, because to my knowledge, Robinhood is still a thing with that name, but I'm not sure. So we're just kind of waiting to see when they're going to roll this thing out. And I think it's going to be good for all.
It does look interesting. Now, you are able to, I guess there's going to be different premium tiers with Robinhood. So, like, for example, Robinhood Gold premium tier could cost you anywhere between $600 to $200 a month. And that will let you borrow between $1,000 to $50,000. You can actually going to be able to transfer money from your bank account over there. So this is going to give Coinbase a run for its money. And there's going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to be the first two that are able to roll out. And basically the states that this is going to start out with is California, Massachusetts, Missouri, Montana, and New Hampshire are starting out in February. And then more states are going to be added after that. And they're going to be selective about which cryptos are going to be on the platform. So should be interesting to keep an eye on that. I am in Missouri, so I will take a look at it, you guys, and get back to you and let you know if I see anything that's interesting with it all.
I guess we need to scrap our idea to launch the Robinhood exchange.
Mm-hmm. Probably a good idea. I mean, that's not a good idea.
All right. On that note, with all the bad dad jokes out of the way, let's go to our feature. Mr. Travis Wright, this is going to be super exciting. Do you know why?
I think it's because we're going to be talking about ICOs.
It is. And, we talk to people who are conducting ICOs all the time, in our ICO spotlights and sometimes post ICO and our, Inside Cryptos. We talk to the companies that are building on blockchains or building their own blockchain. But we have yet to speak to somebody who is in the ICO market, but yet isn't conducting their own ICO.
That's true. And, we have had, I believe now, over 50 different ICOs on our show. And I think we've done a pretty good job vetting them, but we're also bad. So we are bad. We don't know that. I mean, but then the whole industry in some ways is bad because there's companies like Tron that ended up becoming $17 billion and it's pretty much a white paper, right? So, there are some people out there who are fooling people into thinking that their project is full on ready to roll. It may not be fully legit. So a company that has a bunch of analysts that is doing deep research on ICOs, that is something that is valuable to the industry.
It is. And that's what's going to make this time valuable because we have with us the Chief Business Development Officer with ICOrating.com, a site that some of you are probably already familiar with. His name is Brian Kean, and he was keen to join us. And welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast, Brian.
Thank you very much, fellas. Thank you very much for having me. As I've been very keen to be speaking with you guys today. You did a wonderful session out here in the crypto headquarters in Davos. We're here because, like you guys, we love the technology and we don't like the scams out there.
No, we don't. We don't like the scams. They need to be
BConnect.
By the way, there's a correction on that. So Carlos, the BConnect guy, he wasn't just a fanboy. He was actually part of the team. Oh. And so we'll get a couple corrections that I need to make at some point on that and USI. But we're not going to do that right now because we're bad and we've got Brian here. And
he's good.
He's good. And he's from Jersey.
Jersey.
From New Jersey, yeah. From Freehold, New Jersey. Hometown of Bruce Springsteen. Yeah.
Hometown of Bruce.
We have
boss.
Frank Sinatra also hails from New Jersey, as does Queen Latifah.
Well, tramps like us, baby, we were born to run. So let's talk a little bit about ICOrating.com. What is it?
ICOrating.com is an agency that was founded in St. Petersburg, Russia by some really smart people. People who just love this technology. And at the same time, we're an international company. We have an office in San Francisco, one in Amsterdam, had a small one in Barcelona. We closed recently. And understanding that the world is not located in St. Petersburg, Russia, we decided we must open our main office in New York City. So we're creating this office in New York City to take a look at the space. And the reason it was created was this technology is not being invested in. It's not being powered by the money. The money is going into these scams. It's creating. I mean, I don't want to step on anybody's toes who's out there who's done an ICO.
Go ahead, step.
So I'm going to step. We don't need any more.
Stomp.
We don't need tokens anymore that are maybe if I fly into Tacoma or Tulsa somewhere and I get a hamburger for free. Or a massage.
I want a massage token. Can I?
Great.
You know what? I just want a massage.
Yeah. Those sadly are, that's the reason why the investors, the big guys, the big money is not coming in. They're saying, come on, how are we going to, all this nonsense about we're going to transform society with a better massage. Look, you can get
it just transformed my day is what it would do.
Yeah, sure.
That's it.
It'll make
maybe you'll do better stuff during the course of the day, which then butterfly effect makes the world a better place.
Right.
And therefore ripples.
Yeah.
And Ripple. There we go.
You should buy my spa token.
The spa token. That is not a platform. So we obviously, I think you guys would agree in your own bad way that we need platforms. We need to get this, step away from the irrational exuberance of the Bitcoin and get these altcoins properly funded, get these great ideas funded, and get this technology scalable where we can actually be talking about in a year or two how society is being transformed and not just giving us better massages. And that is the goal of ICOrating and the founders of the company, to just weed out, I'm going to say it again. I've said it. I've heard it a million times today. The wheat from the chaff or chafe, you know. In Jersey,
chaff.
Yeah, in Jersey, we just say, get him out of here. Get out of here, as you said. Forget about it.
Get out of here. What are you doing here?
What are you doing? Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about this ICO scamming.
Yeah. So we want this technology empowered, money invested in, and we will do all we can to create the best transparent system. And meaning that we're trying to create a regulatory sandbox with the SEC, with the FCA, with Singapore, other multi-jurisdiction regulatory bodies, with the GBX. Just create a standard, a nice language, transparency. And, you know, when you meet your investors, speak their language, put it in the context they understand, and get your ICO rated properly.
Get your ICO rated properly. So we have people on the show. Once a week, we have an ICO spotlight with 3 ICOs coming on the show. And we ask about the problem they're solving, the why that they're doing it, and then the 4 T's, which is, what is your technology? What is your timeline? What is the team look like? And what is the tokenomics of your company? So what I want to know is, what are the metrics in which ICOrating goes through and does a deep analysis on all these different companies? Because there's so many different metrics, so many different things you could look at. What is it that you guys specifically look at?
Well, as I mentioned to many people over the past couple of days, our methodology is based on 83 criteria.
83 criteria.
83. We have 50 analysts right now, all with 50 investment banking background, based in financial centers all over the world. You know, St. Pete, Singapore, Frankfurt, New York, Hong Kong, all focusing on these criteria. First of all, we begin by looking at, like as you mentioned, the team. Right now we have the secret sauce in there. The methodology is something that's ever being tweaked, because with each ICO, the rules are in a sense being changed. So we can't, and we're trying to work towards this. We're trying to put up those 10 commandments of what is needed, what is proper for a good ICO. But it's a never ending battle, because it's such a new space to be.
Kind of a moving target.
It's a moving target. And, you know, when the telegram comes out, it's a revolution. Why did the Titanic sink? Was it we're going to be sitting around for months.
It was JP Morgan and the bankers, but the conspiracy. But I don't know that.
So we're going to be constantly asking that question for a month after telegram. So the things that I can say that we do immediately focus on are presence on the internet, team. You know, the hype score is always based on, who are these guys? What is their background? If it's 2 young developers who 16 years old, which I'm sure there's many geniuses, but if there's nothing on them other than their high school yearbook photo, it's going to be tough to really get a sense of who they are and maybe.
But wasn't that Vitalik when he started?
Well, yeah.
He's like one out of a billion.
He's a unicorn.
Mm-hmm. He is the unicorn. So we focus in on that. And then, like you mentioned, how is this is this a new thing are you just copying someone else's idea? Is this a new product? Is it marketable? What is your plan to market? You have so many ICOs being stuck in that phase. They've got the money. They had the white paper. Everything looked good. And then they're just wallowing in this. We can't get our product out. We had a woman I was speaking to yesterday who was talking about energy ICOs, renewable and stuff. None of them are even close to coming out with a product that is usable.
Not even Power Ledger.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't really know a lot about Power Ledger, so I can't really speak on that.
Okay.
So we need to ensure, like I said, usability. Can they get out with the product? And something that we're actually going to be creating next is a post-ICO. What are they doing with the money? So did they go from working at home to a nice office in the middle of London or San Fran and a Tesla in the front of the office? Or are they actually hitting targets in their development?
83 points are a lot of things to consider.
A lot. And these analysts speak a language sometimes I don't understand. I say, please dumb it down for me. Put it into working man's language. You know, I think something I said to you guys earlier was, it's great that your irreverent approach is creating a more digestible language for the rest of them.
Yeah, we're like the Pepto-Bismol of the crypto world. You know, we help.
We're the Alka-Seltzer, I like to think.
Plop, plop, and fizz, fizz. And those are our new
fizz,
names.
You're the plop.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, being a crypto median again, Travis. So your client then are the ICOs that, you know, they come to you and they say, all right, here's our white paper and rate us.
Yes. Yes. And last year, as we all know, 17 was the roller coaster, the emotional, the crazy teen who suddenly loves his parents and then suddenly hates his parents overnight. You know how it happens. We've all been at that stage in our lives. And then the teens rebelling, drinking all the alcohol in the liquor cabinet. What are these beer bottles?
I love my parents. I hate my parents.
See, there you go.
Fine, I love them.
This is it.
I hate you. I wish you were dead.
Yeah.
When Lambo.
I have $20. You go to the movie.
In 17, you think you're seeing some patterns of we're getting away from scam, and then suddenly a scam comes out. I can't really speak on who are some scams. Can't really go there. But 18, and also 17 was you come out with your great idea. Here's my white paper. Give me money. And money was given. Mm-hmm. This year going forward, you're going to see people have to start following up on they have to start doing their own marketing. You have to even show a marketing plan. How do you plan to do, are you going to build market makers for your coin, your token? Because people want liquidity. So if I buy the Travis token,
which doesn't exist yet.
There is a Joel.
There is a Joel.
There is a Joel code. So if I buy a Joel token, can I get out of that relatively easy? Or am I going to be stuck in that?
No, because nobody owns it except me.
So, well, I can't speak on the Joel token. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot. There must be more participation from those seeking to raise funds, more responsibility. And I hate to say this, but a little less skateboards. No offense to the skateboard community. But
what is that in reference to?
They just have to be a little bit more serious about the whole fundraising process.
All right.
Because you're speaking 18.
There's some immature people who have some good ideas.
Amazing ideas.
Yeah.
But you can't be so irreverent that I don't care what the Goldman Sachs, for instance, wants. If you're going to have a meeting with Goldman Sachs, let's say in Lower Manhattan, I mean, try to at least make sure, you know, if you have the purple hair, at least comb it. You know?
At least comb it.
Yeah.
I would still go in. Probably pretty much looking just like this, though. I'd have my hat on.
Excellent.
You know what? That's what it is. So I have a question for you around this because Joel and I, Joel's been in marketing longer than I have, but we've both been in marketing for, a little over 2 decades. Joel's written 15 books on marketing, a top marketing thought leader. I've written a book, Marketing Technologist Guy. So I look at things through a technology lens, which is how we kind of got into the blockchain space more so because of like, oh, this is one of these emerging technologies is really awesome.
Right.
And, Joel and I, we do advise on quite a few ICOs at this point now, that ones that we think are interesting. One thing we found, Brian, is that most of these companies, either they don't have anybody on their team that knows anything about marketing, or they have no advisors around marketing. It's like they're engineers and they're really smart with the product, but they don't have any way to get it out to the people because they don't have any marketing channels, right? They've not considered the whole marketing strategy behind this thing. So I would ask you, of the ICOs that you guys have researched, how many of them do you think actually have a marketing strategy or marketing go-to plan?
Well, again, in 17, not many. But we are, towards the end of 17, we see more and more actually approaching the marketing aspects of with more responsibility. They're understanding that, yes, it's getting tighter. The scams are being weeded out. And they're all the hinting and is the SEC coming in? What are they going to do? So people are getting a little bit more nervous and a little bit smarter with that. So I would say in 18, we're seeing more and more with a better understanding of marketing. But if I can make this comment, I'm going to step definitely on some toes right now. There's a whole industry of people out there who will do that marketing. Because if you look at the ease at which money was raised in 2017, $6.1 billion, you just say, let's say 3% of that is a lot of money. So you have many people out there saying, look, this is pretty much not a good idea. This is not a scalable. This token will be maybe gone in a year or two, but you're going to raise $30, $40 million. I want a piece of that. So I would say to people out there, either get, strong advisors like yourselves and I
don't know if you can say that because you've not fully vetted us through.
I have not vetted
advisor rating,
but I have watched you guys, and I like your ideas.
You're bad enough.
You're bad enough. But that's not an official opinion from ICOrating.
But it is an endorsement.
I think you just gave us like a 99.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But also do your due diligence on anybody who you might hire in for marketing. Either get someone who's a great marketer on your team, or do your due diligence with these other guys.
That's one thing we really try to teach. When we get into this show and we're like, you know what? A lot of people are like, feed me the information. Feed me. What should I do? What should I do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's one thing that I'm really proud about what Joel and I are doing the show is that we want to help create more critical thinkers. Like, go out and do your own due diligence. Don't listen to us. Don't buy what we think we're going to buy. Don't buy what we buy just because we buy it. Like, that's why we never pump a coin. We never pump and dump. We don't recommendations. We always say this. We're not financial advisors. We're not telling you what to do. Do what you think you should do based on the information that you gather. So in a way,
people post and they're like, good time to buy. And like, nobody could answer that question for you. And you see, the answer, DYOR, do your own research.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be able to tell you when the right time is to buy a coin. And if they tell you that they know with certainty, then they have an agenda.
Yeah. And like you said, it comes up to your own personal interest, your values. If you're thinking of investing in a coin, obviously you should know something about investing. How much money can you lose? I mean, at the end of the day, what can you part with? But just to go back to how the irrationality of 17, and I call this new period right now the Xanaxation of the ICO space.
Xanaxation.
Xanax. Everybody's just got to take a Xanax, knock it back with a glass of wine. I mean, I am not saying you should do this at home, but
you're not a Xanax advisor.
I am not. I've never used taken a Xanax in my life, but I hear people go, "Oh my God, I took a couple Xanax when I got on an airplane and I just slept like a baby. I was so relaxed." So, I don't want to hear Bitcoin. I heard Bitcoin a couple times in the crypto headquarters here in Davos, and I looked over the people and I thought, "Oh man, you've got to leave. No more Bitcoin talk. Take your Xanax because it's irrational. Step back from that and let's focus on technology and let's all speak a language we all understand. Dumb it down a little bit because sometimes at these conferences throughout the world, people are too smart for their own good. They get a little too deep into technology. And you have investors.
That's what I find with Joel. He is just way too smart for his own good.
Yeah.
It's why we came along at the right time, because everybody out there was talking about crypto in these high-minded, high-tech terms. And we don't have the ability to talk like that because that's not how we think. And it's not the world that we come from. Yeah. We're just fascinated by blockchain. And so we talk about it in regular guy terms. Right. We're regular guys.
Yeah. And the context is society. Can we use this technology to transform, make something better in society? Or are we going to be really smart with the technology, talk really smart so no one understands us, burn it out because we're going to take all this money and not fulfill the promises we're making to these investors. And then they're going to say, look, I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. And then put the blockchain, the development of this in the inevitable off for another 10 or 15 years.
ICOrating, out of the 6 billion or so, that was raised in ICOs last year, how much? 2.3 billion were associated with ICOs that you guys rated.
The average ticket industry-wide last year was $9.9 million, the average raise. Those who rated through us, we gave some sort of rating, be it a listing with promo, be it just a listing or a basic review or an in-depth review. The average ticket was 24.9.
Mm. Now, so you guys are providing a lot of this information to the consumers for free.
Yes.
Right? So all these different sections of the site, you're going over all these different things, top ICOs that were raised by amount this week, the current week of different projects ending this week, all the different stages. So you're going through a whole lot of different information and you're giving this out to consumers for free.
Yes.
And some reports, depending on, if an ICO comes and they want you to research it, it costs them money.
Yes.
Right. And then, so you have different packages. So your biggest plan is, I think you said 20 grand.
20 grand.
Right.
Yep.
And then some ICOs don't want to pay you money. And a lot of times they're probably maybe not even a real business potentially.
I mean, if they're not willing to pay, this is part of their marketing. And I think I was talking with someone. I said, if you don't have something to market your ICO, if you put $5 million into an ICO, marketing it, before you've done, that would also raise red flags with me because you can overmarket.
It's extremes. One way or the other.
Extreme. If you come in and say we have 0, So just do, but our idea is amazing. So please just put it up for us, list it for us, because man, we're changing society. Also red flags. So what is $10,000 in your marketing plan? What is $20,000? And we last year reviewed over 1,000 ICOs. So, and if the average ticket is 24 million, then it's something you should consider if you really truly want your idea funded.
Yeah. Now this report right here that we're looking at, this shows like top completed projects or talks about ones that what they've already done. Do you have another report or part of it that says, hey, here are the ones that we have reviewed and here are the ones that are upcoming now? Like these are like, is there a snapshot place that people can go to look and say, hey, here are the ratings of the ones that are coming up and here's their pre-ICO or their pre-sale or their ICO. And here's like an agenda of,
yes, on the site,
calendar
on the site. And something we're coming out with next week is a look at 17, the top ICOs. We're going to assess everything and try to use the historical snapshot. Can we use that to predict or create a better, stronger, more reliable methodology going forward and in the present?
Yeah, I'm curious about that because, you know, in hindsight, you look back and you see how you rated an ICO and then you see the results.
Right.
So what kind of track record have you guys had?
I don't have that information right now, but that will be hopefully in this annual report. And if not, that's a very good question. And that's something I could follow up on.
Very nice. We're keeping a tally of people who say good question.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Today I have like 5. That was your second one of the day. So I'm still kicking his ass.
So you've had people who want an ICO and you stumped them with a question.
No, we try to drop out some pretty good questions.
Okay.
Travis is just smarter than me.
Yeah.
So he asks better questions. You know,
Joel's just better looking.
I'm window dressing. That's
it. That's good. So that's great. So now the website is ICOrating.com. You guys have a whole bunch of information on there. And so you guys are rating them positive, stable, plus, stable, negative. So what's the best rating someone can get?
Positive.
That's the very best one.
Yeah.
And the worst?
Negative.
Avoid like the plague.
Yeah. Avoid like the plague.
Bubonic.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, very straightforward, very standard.
Okay.
And, you know, we didn't want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You try to obviously limit because what happens? What is a 4? What is a 4.5? What is a 5?
Right.
This is just simple. Look, if it's positive, we've done the due diligence. It's good. We like it. We're not telling anybody to invest in it. We say that on the site. We are not telling you to invest. When we open our office in New York, we will have to become an investment advisor. Mm-hmm. We're not big enough. The SEC does not require that, but we'll have to do it in New York State.
We can never open an office in New York.
Okay, let's not do that. And let me ask you a question here. So on the front page here, I'm looking at ICOrating.com, and it shows ICO rating, and there's 3 of them that say positive. Are those ICOs that are upcoming? Are those historic ones? Or are those all of the ones that you've rated?
Those are upcoming.
Those are all upcoming ICOs and so there's only 3 of them that rate positive right now. There's a few that are stable plus, like 5 or so that are stable plus. So that's interesting. So this is a great place where people can go to get some information to do due diligence.
Yeah. And stable also is, again, I don't want to say, because I don't want anybody to say, oh, he said stable is good, so I'm going to invest my money. But stable is often, they're pretty good. There might be something.
It's more neutral.
Yeah.
More like Switzerland.
There just might be the team. There's not maybe a little less experience or something. But great idea. Half the team is amazing. And the other half is completely inexperienced.
But some of these people that pay you to rate their ICO end up with a negative rating.
Yeah, sure.
You know? And they can't be too happy about that. Or they can be like, oh, you know, how do we make this better?
Yeah. Well, so then they say, well, you give us negative. Give us our money back. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We tell them in advance. It's in the contract.
Give me my time back.
Yeah.
Give me the time of the 50 analysts back.
We're doing you a favor by telling you it's negative.
Yeah.
They're going to go back to the drawing board. We do not provide any services to help them make it better. Because that's a conflict of interest. And we don't even recommend anybody. But of course,
can they go and work on it and then bring it back to you?
Absolutely.
Dude, I just got off my skateboard and I'm launching my spa coin. Why you rate it negative?
Oh my God.
It's a great idea.
Brian Kean, the Chief Business Development Officer with ICOrating.com. This has been valuable. Thanks, Brian, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Right on. Is there anything else that our audience should know about ICO rating?
I just want to say this has been a really bad interview. No, thank you for it.
Awesome.
Horrible.
I had to get that in there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well done.
Thank you.
That helps put some perspective on investing in ICOs, Travis, and definitely worth taking a look at ICOrating.com to see the content they put out.
And they put out a lot of content. I mean, just go there, put your name in the email, and they'll send you PDFs of all the different stuff that's going on each week. They have it basically helps you invest smarter. I mean, they have done reviews on over 1,000 different ICOs in 2017, and that was just a phenomenal number when you think that the $6 billion or whatever that was raised with ICOs, that they had more than a third of that they had actually reviewed. So pretty interesting to keep an eye on all of that, Mr. Joel.
Indeed it is. Well, we hope this has been valuable for you guys. We do appreciate you so much for listening. Please do review the show if you haven't yet. Only a small percentage of people take a moment to actually go and write a review on iTunes or Stitcher or Facebook or wherever you listen that you can submit a review. So when you do that, it really does matter. It alerts others to the fact that you're listening to the show and lets them know what you think of it. So we appreciate it when you do that. And on behalf of Mr. Travis Wright and myself, we instruct you to stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor. Mr. Travis Wright, this is going to be super exciting. Do you know why?
I was like, I had a cough that popped out. Literally, it was like a cough, and I was trying to talk at the same time. That was awesome. Here are people in the pre-ICO stage.
You got it.
The ICO stage.
Wait, kind of go back
This
because.
is so hard to do this with this mic.
Well, you need more hands then. Can you go? It's just Aaron's going to be like, Travis, hold the mic.
Yeah.